Mall of America. It's home to world-class shopping, great dining, and amazing attractions and events. And these are our stories, presented by Bloomington, Minnesota Travel and Tourism. Hey, Mall of America fans, welcome to So Much More. I am Jill Renzel, your host for today's episode, and I'm joined by two of my colleagues, Maggie from Entertainment and Madison from PR. And they are here because they are super fans of Hannah Montana. Because, folks, it is the 20th anniversary of Hannah Montana, and we're coming off of a very exciting meet and greet that we did with Jason Earles. And you guys probably know him best as Jackson Stewart from Disney's hit Hannah Montana. So you guys, he is here with us on the podcast today. We are so excited because not only is it the 20th anniversary, but Jason also just launched a new podcast called Best of Both Our Worlds. He revisits behind the scenes tidbits and secrets of the show and relives some of the episodes with some of his collaborators. So we're excited to talk with him about that podcast, about the 20th anniversary, and so much more. So hang on and you're in for a treat because Jason, welcome to So Much More.
Thank you guys for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
So you were just here at Mall of America. So you have to tell us all about it. What was it like to be in the nation's largest mall, meeting hundreds of your fans here for the big anniversary of Hannah Montana?
I am not going to lie. It was a little overwhelming. You guys throw quite the party. I knew that we would have at least a little bit of a turnout, but I think we ended up hanging out for like 5 hours doing cheese jerky and signing things and taking pictures. And it was really a humbling, very, very fun event to take part in.
Well, we were very excited for you to come to Minnesota and celebrate with us because there are a lot of fans. Like I said, I have two of them sitting with me right here today. I know Madison was at the event. I think she was fangirling over it, doing some photo ops with you. So Madison, what did you think about the event?
I thought it was just so fun and so amazing that so many people came out to celebrate with you. And I know it was nearly 1,000 people that showed up to the event, and you took the time to meet 500 of them. And I want to congratulate you for hanging in there and doing that, because you were on stage for, like you said, the 5 hours, and you took the time to meet each fan one-on-one and actually spend quality time with them and see them and get to know them. So I just thought that was super cool because we don't often see that. So congrats.
Oh, I actually felt bad. I felt bad that 500 people got turned away. So it was really, everybody was so patient, even though they had to wait for hours in the line. Just some of the sweetest people I've ever had the chance to like hang out with and chat with, and it was worth spending a couple of extra hours to get a chance to say hi to everybody.
I love it. Well, Madison, you got a chance one-on-one to talk to Jason, but Maggie, you did not make it to the event because you had a conflict, but here's your chance to ask Jason anything that you want to ask him.
Oh my gosh, the pressure's on, right? I wanted to be there so badly, but yeah, like you said, I had a conflict, so I'm very excited to dig into the podcast, which I've been listening to, the special, which was so fun, and just all of it. It's amazing.
Fantastic. So Jason, was there anything that a fan brought up that might have surprised you, or a memory that they brought up that you forgot about, or just some fun takeaway?
I mean, it all brings back a bunch of memories. People have old, like, Hannah merchandise. One person actually brought a singing toothbrush that sings Hannah Montana songs while you're brushing your teeth. I remember my nieces, when the show was on, having me sign their toothbrushes for them so they could take it to school. The whole thing was just so crazy. But the toothbrush was like, I think, the big blast from the past that I had completely forgotten we made, and then I actually saw at the mall.
That's great. Maggie, didn't you say you had the Hannah Montana doll?
Oh, yeah. I had the Miley Cyrus Hannah Montana Barbies for sure. And I had my own kind of Jackson Stewart-ish brother, still do, love him, who had ripped the head off of it. And I still have the head and the body. They're separate, but I held on to it because it meant that much to me still. So
yeah,
they got some good merch out there.
I love it. Well, Jason, I'm sure you've been reliving so many fun memories from being with the cast and recording the show. So bring us back to that time of Jackson Stewart. What did you love most about that character?
I love that character because he was an excellent excuse to just kind of be like a goofy little boy again. I mean, he was a teenager, so he wasn't a little boy, but he was just like the whole purpose of him in the show was to be totally unimpressed with his sister, which was very easy for me, and to just be as funny as possible. I had a lot of free reign on the show very early. They trusted in me to, like, if I had a bit that I wanted to try and I wanted one more take to show it to them, they would take the time to let me do that. So I think just the thing that just still sticks with me to this day was how much trust they had in me to just goof off and that it would turn out funny enough to make it into the episode.
I love that. So how much of the real life Jason shows up in Jackson when you guys were on the show?
I think Jason is in general a little bit more responsible than Jackson. I pay my taxes relatively on time. I don't run up a bunch of credit card debt. Like I'm a pretty responsible dude. But that overwhelming goofy, like if something gets me amped up and suddenly, or there's a bit that I'm doing and where I'm harassing a friend and I just won't let it go, like that's just sort of sense of humor is very much me. So it was pretty easy to just sort of like spill that into the character of Jackson.
Super fun. So you obviously worked very closely with Miley Cyrus, and you talked on the podcast about the chemistry of being a brother-sister dynamic, but then, the fact that Billy Ray was on there and they already had the father-daughter authentic chemistry because of that. How did that fit into that trifecta of your family unit on the show?
I was really nervous about it, like I said, in the beginning. And as far as the way Miley and I worked together or got to know each other, it was a bit of a slow burn in the beginning, because I was a little bit older. I'd gone to college. I was a biology theater double major. And so like my acting process, I actually had one. And Miley was very much in the beginning just sort of working off instinct. She was just so naturally charismatic and so funny and so willing to just be goofy in the moment that she was a little bit more freelance than I was. And it took us a second to get on the same page when it came to actually doing the work on the show. But I would say probably halfway through the first season, there was an episode where it's the Make a Moose episode, if anybody knows it. And yes. In that episode, there's a really obnoxious little girl in it. And she was a handful during rehearsals. And at one point, we're sitting there waiting for this girl to settle down so we can shoot something. And Miley's just sort of staring at this little girl. And she goes, "Wait a minute, is this what I'm like?" And I was like, "Now you see it." And from that point on, she was like, if I was ever like, "Hey, maybe just like, let's just focus a little bit and just get through the scene." She like buckled down and sort of understood what it was that I was saying in that moment. So it was good. It was a bit of a slow burn, but eventually it really was just like having a little sister on the set. We made fun of each other. We supported each other. We didn't get along all the time. But even when we weren't getting along, I would have like taken a bullet for her. It's just that whole like, I can pick on you, but if anybody else picks on you, then they're going to go down. It just evolved very naturally into that sort of a relationship.
A true brother-sister relationship.
Oh, yeah.
I love it. Maggie, you were nodding your head over there as soon as he brought up that episode. Any comments?
Oh my gosh. Yeah. That episode is iconic. I feel like I remember the layout of the like fake store that they had. That was so good. So good.
And there's the jingle. There's the jingle as well. Make a moose, here it make a moose. Yes. Make a moose, make a moose, make a moose, make a moose, yes. Here it make a moose. It's the worst jingle ever, but like there you go.
But yeah, that just sent me back 20 years right there. That was amazing. Oh my God. Iconic. It's so good.
So what are some of those behind the scenes moments that fans would be surprised to learn about?
We were pretty like transparent, like, but pretty much what you saw on the set was what you were getting behind the scenes as well. We were just a very close-knit, goofy, spontaneous group. I think that like, I don't know. I think people would just be surprised at how genuinely humble Miley was at the time and how great she was with things like we had so many Make-A-Wish kids come to the show. And she always took the time to just sort of like hang out and spend time with the family and take pictures and sign things and let the kids try on the wigs and the different Hannah scarves. And there was just times where she was so sweet and so grounded, and when everybody sort of thinks of her as a bit of a wild child and sort of go all the time, but she really had like this sort of gooey center that was nice to witness sometimes.
A gooey center.
I love that. That's great.
So I'm curious, when the show was done, did you take any like props or memorabilia or anything that you could savor and kind of have a token of the show?
I stole so much stuff. I have so much stuff. I have a shadow box that has I did this character Bucky Kentucky. He was sort of like an Axl Rose, like rock and roll guy, and I have his bandana and dog tags and wristband. There's a light up Western belt buckle from like before I moved to California when I was still in school in Tennessee. I have that belt buckle. I have the original cheese jerky sign for the stand on the beach. I have a Silver Booty Award, which is like one of the awards that she won as Hannah Montana. And I think the song that she won it for was True Friend, which is one of my favorite songs from the show soundtrack. I have 3 Rico's t-shirts that are my pride and joy. And I'm so angry I didn't steal more, because after 20 years and 20 pounds, they don't fit right. And the seal is cracking a little bit. And so I would have liked to have had some more to go through. But yeah, I took a couple of things.
You really do have a few things. I love that. So the reunion, what was that like to get back together, and not knowing how often you guys see each other, but what was that like, reminiscing and just getting back together and celebrating 20 years? I mean, I think back, and I'm a mom that has kids that grew up with it. I have got 2 colleagues that were the youngsters that were watching. We were talking about this before we got on. I'm like, okay, I feel this generational gap, but so many fun memories. So what was that like to reunite at the reunion?
Yeah, it was wonderful. I wish that everybody could have made it. We genuinely, as a full cast, we have not been in the same room at the same time since we wrapped the last episode. So it would have been fantastic if everybody was able to make it. But, the circumstances come up and it wasn't able to happen. But it was so wonderful to see the people that made it. Amber and Ashley, the Oots girls, are 2 of my all-time favorite guest stars on the show. Cody Lindley, who plays Jake Ryan, who anybody that knows the show, there's Team Jake and there's Team Jesse. I am vehemently Team Jesse, but I do like Cody Lindley anyway, even though he played Jake Ryan. But honestly, like, my heart was filled the second that I saw Moises Arias, who played Rico. He was the all-time greatest frenemy on television, and he is one of my favorite humans on the planet. And I wasn't sure if he was going to make it. So when he came up behind me and tapped on me and I saw him, I that was probably the most emotional I got the whole evening, was seeing my buddy Moises.
That's awesome. So I'd love to ask all 3 of you. I mean, looking at the fandom that has followed the show and this cast and the storyline for 20 years, what do you think it is that still resonates with fans and audiences today about the Hannah Montana show? So Jason, starting with you.
I mean, this is kind of a silly answer, but it's just good. Like, the show is actually really well done. It's easy watching. It's funny. It's well written. And even though the premise is fantastical, a pop star, or, regular girl by day, pop star by night, the show is really grounded. And it's a girl going through real teenage struggles. And she couldn't just Hannah Montana her way out of it all the time. Usually there was a really sweet moment, whether it was her and Aunt Dolly or her and our dad or her and me, where you would feel like she came out better on the other side of the story. And there's just not a lot of entertainment that sort of has that quality just across the board. Pick any episode and you're going to get a little something that'll either make you tear up or make you giggle. It's just genuinely a good show.
I agree. What do you guys think, Madison?
Yeah, I would completely agree with that. I think I grew up when I was younger watching Full House. And to me, when Hannah Montana came out, it really felt like our generation of Full House in a way, where it was the perfect blend of friendship and family and comedy, but then also the glitz and the glamour and the music. And it truly just shaped a generation of fans and of people that love music, people that love fashion. I think the show just has so much more than just being a show. Like, yes, it was my favorite TV show growing up, but also my mom sat with me and watched it every day. My grandma loved it. My cousins loved it. So it was just something that the whole family could bond over. And I know, Jason, you recently posted on Instagram that the show felt like a home to you and it was like an extended family. And I really think you guys, and I could probably speak for other people around in our generation, but you guys were also a part of our extended family. And it was, you guys were in our living room every night. And so I think the show just has so much to it that besides just being a TV show.
Yeah, there's something for everybody to relate to there. You know, I had a brother like Jackson, and then I had a dad kind of like Billy Ray. And there's the relatability factor. I think also it touched on the like hopes and dreams of a lot of us when we were younger. You know, some of the lyrics to the opening song, "You can be whoever you want to be," it kind of latches on to that dreamer in all of us, and that the kids that, you know, whether they want to be a famous pop star or, you know, be whoever you want to be, like it gave you that feeling that you could in whatever way.
And it is funny to think that the show was such a blend of, like, to me, my favorite parts were like the fashion and the entertainment music portion of it. And now we all work at Mall of America, which is the largest retail and entertainment destination. So I really think that sparked something in me that kept going.
Yeah, I loved all the humor in it was where I was at. Like the Jackson humor I loved it. I was here for like physical comedy, all the jokes and the performance aspect of it all. And now I've grown up. I have a theater degree. Like I was doing that because I think of a lot of the shows I watched as a kid, including Hannah Montana, and especially that.
Yeah. And I'm sure in the moment you're not realizing all the people that you're touching with this program and with the stories that you're telling. And what I think is fantastic is the launch of your new podcast, Best of Both Our Worlds, because the timing obviously aligned with the 20th anniversary, but taking these elements that connect with families, with generations, with just wholesome content that just makes us happy and things that we need to fill our lives with. So curious about that venture into this podcast and be able to tell those stories. I've had the chance to listen to the first couple episodes, and I love how you are breaking down the episodes and telling stories and the behind the scenes, the fun elements that put it all together and giving it so much character. And so would love for you to talk about the podcast and your excitement around that and what's to come for people to listen to.
Yeah, I think the timing for everything came. It all just like timed out really well. The 20th anniversary is obviously a very like helpful thing as far as getting some attention on the podcast, right? Because if you're excited about the 20th anniversary, you'd probably be excited about hearing about how the whole thing was made in the first place. But for me, I didn't know what the 20th anniversary special was going to be about. And I really wanted to do something that was personal and that I could sort of control how much I could give back to the fans, whether it was like stories or, answering their questions and putting that in the podcast. And the ability to sort of partner up with two of my friends from the show, one of the writers and one of the acting coach and director, recurring director on the show. It just felt like the perfect opportunity to share some of my favorite moments in my entire life and my entire career with the fans, and hopefully give them some stuff that they haven't heard before. And if nothing else, almost like the show, it's 45 minutes of feel-good entertainment, something that's really easy to listen to in the background. And if you're a little stressed about your day, this is something that's hopefully sands the edges off a little bit, but it's been really fun to go back and rewatch episodes, to bring on old guest stars from the show, and just all of us share our different memories of what it was like to do the show. Because you guys know, try to remember something you did 20 years ago. You're going to have an imperfect memory at best. And if any of your friends were there, they're going to have a completely different version. And that happens all the time on this. We're constantly bringing up things and we're like, wait a minute, I didn't think that's how that went. And then they'll be like, no, this is the real story about how you ended up with all that chocolate pudding on your face. So it's been a really fun and healing's not the right word because there's nothing really to heal from, but it's like, it feels like a really nice way of wrapping up the entire Hannah Montana experience by just sort of like having this oral history of this thing we did. And by the time we get to the end of the series, it'll feel like we did it. we celebrated it, and now we can just like let it go, you know?
So you have to share with our listeners, because I got a kick out of the whole age conversation, and how you actually hid that from the show for quite some time, as they thought that you were younger than you really were, which I got a kick out of. So I would love for you to share a little bit of that story.
Yeah, I mean, the basic idea is when they hired me, they thought I was 18 years old, and I happened to be 28 years old. And the thing that's interesting is like, this hasn't been a secret for like a decade, but it was really funny that in the podcast I brought it up, and suddenly like there was a whole flurry of like excitement and like chatter over it. But at the end of the day, you know, acting is make believe. It's all make believe. Whether you're 14 playing 14 or you're 28 playing 16 or whatever, like it's all just, we're all playing make believe. So it never felt like weird to me that I was doing it. And the reality is when they ask you, are you 18? The only thing they're really saying is like, do we need a set teacher, and does your parent have to be on set? And by me saying I was 18, I was letting them know you don't have to worry about any of that stuff. But you can't ask the real number because that's age discrimination. So I didn't do anything wrong at all. No. Okay. So here's the thing. Here's the thing. For me, my get out of jail free card is we did a show about a girl who lied to the entire world to chase a dream. So if this guy just fibbed a little bit about his age to chase a dream and be on the best family TV show of all time, I don't think that's such a bad thing. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
My real question about the age stuff is: do you think it gave you an advantage on the Disney Channel games?
Yes, I mean, I was the champion at Simon Says, and the reason I was the champion at Simon Says is because I was 28 and I had an attention span. You know, like if you're 13 and the only thing you can think about is how cute the girl from the other show is next to you, I'm obviously going to win Simon Says.
Yeah, and multiple like weekly MVPs. Your team won multiple years.
I don't want to say that I
was there.
I don't want to toot my own horn about the Disney Channel games, but I did win like 2 out of the 3 years. We were pretty good.
Just saying.
Just saying. Yeah.
Just saying.
Absolutely.
So what would you say, being part of Hannah Montana, how did that shape your life and as you looked at your career beyond the show?
I mean, I had no connections to Hollywood before I moved to LA. I spent years doing extra work and stand-in work and like commercial stuff. And Hannah was the first thing that like really broke through. And it was the first time that I felt like I was someplace where I was contributing to whether the whole thing was going to be good or not. I felt like it was home. And so I had the freedom to like express myself creatively and comedically. And it really was the first time I felt like, oh, I have something to offer this business. I have something to offer comedy in general. And it gave me a confidence in myself that has sort of carried on for the next 15 years. I pretty much owe everything good in my career and pretty much my whole life to Miley and to being a part of this whole Hannah Montana phenomenon. It really was a special experience for me.
That's awesome. So if Jackson Rod Stewart came to Mall of America today, what's the first thing he'd be doing?
He's going to ride the rides for sure. He's probably going to get kicked out of the rides because he will have eaten too much of the amazing food and he would have barfed on one of the rides, I'm sure. But I think the thing that he would probably, like the way he would wrap up his amazing day at the Mall of America is he would try to find a Hannah Montana poster so he could draw like devil horns and a mustache on it. I think that would be the cherry on top of his day at the Mall of America.
I love it. Well, Jason, we're going to finish this off with a little rapid fire round. So just don't overthink it. Just give us whatever first comes to mind. Okay. So first one.
Okay.
Favorite Hannah Montana episode?
I mean, Make a Moose is a pretty great episode. Oh, actually, no. I like the one where everybody thinks that Jackson is dating Hannah Montana, and it ends up with me jumping up and down on the couch, a la Tom Cruise on Oprah, as we're like breaking up. It's one of my favorite episodes. It's so good.
That is great. Okay, one word to describe Jackson Stewart.
Obnoxious.
Most likely cast member to break character on set.
Miley.
Okay. Go-to snack on set back in the day.
Ramen.
Miley Stewart or Hannah Montana? Who are you hanging out with?
Miley Stewart.
Okay. Favorite song from the show?
Me. Jackson would hang out with Hannah Montana because all the perks, but I would hang out with Miley.
Next question is favorite song from the show.
From the show, maybe Just Like You, but my probably favorite one from, if you count the movie, is Butterfly, Fly Away.
Okay. Dream guest for your podcast.
Well, Miley, I mean, of course, like it would be great to just pick her brain for an hour and a half and have her tell me how annoying I was when I was on the show.
I love it. And last one. So finish this sentence. The best of both worlds means what?
Everything.
It means everything. I love it. Great way to finish up the podcast because Jason, thank you so much. Not only coming to Mall of America and connecting with all your fans, but also talking with us today about all of your great stories about the show and just about the podcast. And we encourage everybody, if you have not had a chance to check it out yet, definitely check out Jason's new podcast called Best of Both Our Worlds. You can find it wherever you find your favorite podcast, as well as it's probably right alongside so much more, I'm sure, in your lineup of your podcasts. But definitely check in, celebrate Hannah Montana. 20 years, guys, 20 years of fabulous memories.
Wow.
And so we're so excited to share this story with you today. Tune in next time to so much more. We have more to share with you for shopping, dining, entertainment, and all the fun things we have happening here at Mall of America. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for listening to So Much More, a Mall of America podcast. Subscribe wherever you find your favorite podcasts. This show is presented by Bloomington, Minnesota Travel and Tourism.